I asked you to ask me anything, and boy, did you deliver. And now it's time for me to answer your questions. Okay, Charlie, let's go film a Q&A. There we go. My handbag. Can I have my handbag, please? Thanks, I've got to drive now. Alright, bud, what do you want to listen to? Put out a post on the internet, and the post was about ask me anything. I'm going to do a questions and answers video. But I'm actually on daddy daycare today, so I figured I would combine the two. Ready to get out, bud? You ready to get out? Swing this back. Ooh, there we go, buddy. There we go. Yeah. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to make a Q&A video is because I've not actually, well, I have done one. It was about, I think it was in 2020, so 3 years ago was the last time. And as much as I try to sort of answer all the questions that I can in every video when I get asked them, there's still some questions that I just don't have time to answer. The baby's asleep. Jam Pam asks, would you consider doing stealth camps outside of Cornwall? And the answer is yes, and I have, like when I went up to Reading. But for me, at the moment, I just like to pop away on the weekend so that I'm not away from my son for too long. But when he gets a bit older, I'm hoping to go to Wales for a bit. There's a few things I want to check out up there. I want to head up to Scotland at some point as well. There's loads of places that I want to go that are sort of further afield than Cornwall. But I do have a day job as well, so it's just about sort of balancing the time off. Matt Treen asks, why do you love Sundays and not the other days of the week? It's not that I don't love the other days of the week. The whole reason why I called the channel Love Sundays is because I used to work in the pub trade. And I used to work every Sunday and I used to hate it. It was normally the busiest day of the week. You used to run out of loads of stuff because there were no deliveries on a Sunday. It used to be a complete nightmare and I used to hate it. And then once I got out of the pub trade, I actually managed to get more time on my hands and I decided to actually make the most of the weekend. And that's why I love Sundays. There seems to be a very big misunderstanding with this channel, and that people think that because it's Love Sundays, I have to post on a Sunday. But that's not the case. You know, I went through a stage of posting on Saturdays, and the reason why I moved over to Saturdays was because I found that I was getting a lot more views because it gave people the full weekend to actually view the video as opposed to just Sunday before they go back to work on the Monday. The whole point of the name of Love Sundays is not that I post on Sundays. If that was the case, places like TGI Fridays would only be open on a Friday. The whole point of it is it's about what I get up to on the weekend, or what I get up to on Sunday. Dog11222 asks, are Crocs and dry robe useful or just a fashion statement? Crocs, I mean, Loads of stones in it. Crocs I can't live without now. I mean, I always said I would never wear a pair of Crocs out of the house, and here I am. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a dad now, but the thing is that these are perfect when you've got a van. It's nice and easy just to slip a pair of these on. Crocs are great. Dry robe on the other hand, I've got 2 dry robes. I don't wear either of them. If you don't want to invest the money in a dry robe, you can get a cheap alternative. There's plenty of companies out there that actually make them now. But in the summer, you probably don't need one, just stick a towel on. But when it's winter, if you haven't got a van to get changed in and out of, they are actually very handy, especially if you're getting in and out of your wetsuit outside of your vehicle. Right, okay. Let's do this. You're going to help me with this one, okay? Have you ever seen dogging when camping? No, I haven't, but that's because I normally stay far away. Charlie, dogging is when people walk their dogs, okay? I might just park up in one night because I think it would make a good video. Could be entertaining. Viking Campers asks, Sean, have you ever been called an emmet yourself in the camper van and had to correct them? From Stuart. No. People tend to sort of leave me alone, to be honest, but people look at me like an emmet sometimes, but I do have a Cornish flag sticker on the back of the van. Not that that would say that I'm a local or anything, but people just tend to leave me alone, to be fair. In this van at least. I think once I start using the other one more, then I might get a bit more abuse, but you know, just tell them where to go. Do you do any trips in the van that you don't film or upload? Yes. Occasionally I go out with my wife. Not so much now that Charlie's here, you know, just because it's nice just sometimes just to get out in the van and just relax. If I do go out in the van on my own or with the family and I don't film it, I tend to go to nice places that I've probably been to before, so that, you know, like Pra Sands, like the campsite down there, you know, there's only so many times you can go back to the same place and make a video, but I actually do really love staying there. Transit or transporter for a camper conversion? And I've had both. Obviously I've got a Transit now, and the first van that I ever bought was a VW Transporter T5. I loved my T5. I wouldn't say that they're necessarily worth the amount of money that you pay for them. Especially living around here, I was too precious with it. I never used to like scratching it or anything. People love VW because of the heritage that comes with it. But I mean, to be honest, Transits are a lot more square, so you can actually, you know, fit a lot more in there, whereas VWs sort of taper in a bit more. So I would probably say now that I'm converted to Transit. The Nail Polish Hound asks, any collabs planned with any other YouTubers? I've done some collabs with some Cornwall based YouTubers before, but going forward I've been talking a lot to Ads Ventures. We might actually go on a little camp at some point together, but it's all just about sort of timing really, and making sure that we're both available. He came down this way a little while back and we were going to meet up, but it just didn't work out. I think if we met up, the banter would be pretty sharp. Scott Pierce asks, hi Sean, how are you and the family? We're doing really well, and Charlie is loving life, aren't you, bud? Are you loving life? He says yes. Oh, this is from Ridley2907. My question is, why do I always get the blame for everything? Ridley, it's probably, I'm guessing you're a man, it's probably because you're a man. I get the blame for everything as well. Hashtag 66 asks, have you ever been caught short for a poo? No, because I've got a dunny in the van, so never. Reece Sims asks, would you confront someone for littering? Well, this is something that I do on a regular basis actually, especially on day trips to the beach. You see people just sort of trying to bury barbecues and things, and like my wife gets so annoyed with me because I can't not say something. I have to go up to people and just say, what are you playing at, mate? I am very precious about Cornwall and about its beauty, and if I see anyone sort of mistreating it, it really, really upsets me. So yes, I do confront people for littering. Adam Wilkinson asks, can I come next time? Firstly, that's what she said. And secondly, I might actually arrange a sort of a group meeting at some point where we can all sort of meet up at a campsite or something and, I don't know, just go camping. First Blood says, ever seen a ghost? No, but I'd like to. Phil asks, why, just why buy a Batman coat? Batman rocks, everyone knows that. Eric asks through Buy Me a Coffee, are you teetotal? Why do you drink alcohol-free cider and beer? And I'm not teetotal. I love a beer, I love wine, but when I go out on my little camping trips, I drink non-alcoholic beer because I'm trying to, one, stay legal. You know, you can't be drunk and in charge of a vehicle, and two, if I do get the knock, or if somebody turns up and asks me to move on in the night, I can't actually do that if I'm under the influence of alcohol. So that's why I try to stay clear from it when I'm out camping. But the rest of the time, I like a beer. I've made videos of me literally like camping in a tent, and I've, you know, have a few cans of Tribute, and I'm pretty happy with it. You alright, bud? Do you want this? Yum, 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 yum. Matthew Holton asks, if you were to redo your smaller van build, what would you do differently, if anything? And to be honest, the layout I'm pretty happy with. There's probably a few things that I would have done differently. I would have spent more time doing it. It's still standing, it's still doing really well, but my attention to detail on my new van makes this one look rushed, which it was. You know, I just wanted to get it on the road and get using it, but that's probably the main thing that I would have done differently. I would have spent more time just converting it, and I probably would have built a unit for here as well, rather than having this TV unit that I cut up to fit in here, just so that it made a better use of the space. Full-time Failure asks, hi Sean, I've wondered for a long time now, do you genuinely enjoy non-alcoholic beers? A few I've tried are just awful, and I'll be honest, I'd much rather have a real beer, 100%, but you know, I'd rather drink a non-alcoholic beer than just have like a Pepsi or something. So for me, it's better than not having a beer, but some of them are just terrible. I think non-alcoholic cider tastes better than non-alcoholic beer anyway. I can't find the question, but somebody did ask, I think it was on the other video, but it's worth mentioning. Someone asked me how much the new engine is, and they've quoted me £5,000 for the new engine. That's with fitting, but obviously, you know, there could be other things that it might need as well when they fit it. So I've literally just got I've not got the van back yet, so I've not had the final build, but it's not been cheap. I've had to sell a few things to pay for it, unfortunately, but there's no way that I could sort of give up on the van after all the work I've put into it. You know, it's been 5 months worth of sort of doing it up, and you know, just to sort of give up on that now would feel like a complete waste of my time and my time with my boy. Ben M asks, will we see more cameos from your dad in the future videos? We've seen all his tools in the van build, and that's not a euphemism. Yes, actually, I've got a video coming up where I'm going to be installing the ceiling in the van. I've got something a little bit different planned for what I'm going to do, and my dad doesn't trust me to do a good job of it, so he's gonna come along and help me install it. So he'll be in that video. We get on really well. He's more like a best mate rather than a dad, if anything. The banter is normally pretty good between us. Stuart Hill asks, imagine you're organising a Love Sundays music festival and you could have any acts in the world. Who would be your 3 headliners? Alive or dead? The Prodigy, the Foo Fighters, and Tool, probably. Mixed bag there. Okay, I'm going to make this the last one. Van Man Dad says, in all of your camping adventures, have you ever seen anything supernatural? UFOs, cryptids, etc. North Carolina, USA. I haven't. I mean, I'm a strong believer of UFOs and aliens. You know, I used to be an avid fan of the X-Files back in the 90s, and I would love to experience that or to see something, and especially catch it on camera. But no, I haven't, unfortunately. But I do always keep an eye out for it. Right, so that concludes the questions and answers portion of this video. Thank you very much. Say hello, Charlie. Say hello. Look at hello. Shall we go swimming now? Shall we go swimming? Shall we go swimming? Yeah. I'd say it's pretty important that we give him swimming lessons. We've actually been taking him to that place since he was about 4 weeks old, and my view is if he's ever going to be my snorkel bud and come out with me in the sea, then he needs to have no fear of the water whatsoever. So we're just embedding it in his head as early as we possibly can. Apologies if your question didn't make the cut. Unfortunately, if I'd included every question, and I got literally probably about 100 questions, this video would have been about 45 minutes long. So I had to cut a load out, unfortunately. But thank you to everyone that's bought me a beer through the link in the description. As I always say, I do really appreciate it. And other than that, I'll see you in the next video. You ready to go home? Oh, have you done a poo?